What's up, everybody? I got another video here. We're gonna talk about fashion. I have a tarot card reading, and I pulled a card in the video game, so it's gonna be really fucking interesting. We're gonna have conversations about AI communion with humanity and how we should move forward with a society that focuses on friendships, investors of energy, and actively challenging the norms of this society because obviously it's falling apart before our very eyes. And I don't feel like we're taking enough action towards the new way of the world that we should be actively pursuing, especially in this year of the horse. So, we're gonna start with fashion. I've recently been very active on trying to improve my own fashion in the world. And I've taken a lot of time to just kind of sit with the energy that I want to express to the world, the things that I wear. And I know it's going to take a while. And I'm really hoping that when I go to LA, that it kind of like hits me a little harder because I think LA is the environment where I want to compliment and I want it to compliment me. You know, right now I'm in Portland and I do love the winter style that you can wear up here because it is cold enough to actually like make it make sense. But I also want to be realistic in the sense that I am going to be living mostly in the southern part of the United States where it's more warm, and I got to be realistic in what it is I'm going to be wearing. So for example, I cut off the sleeves of this Christian Dior coat, and it's looking pretty dope. The only thing I need to do right now is change it up a bit so it's fits more in the cyberpunk realm that I want to complement. So in the video, I was kind of scrolling through a little some outfits, and as I walk around the city, I kind of pay attention to some of the NPCs to see how they're dressed and like how they went about just dressing the random people. I try to draw inspiration from this game specifically as well as the anime just because I do like where we're heading in fashion and I do want to be a part of it. But right now, I just don't feel like we're there yet, but we're getting really close. So I want to be a part of the pioneers that move forward in the fashion world. Not really trying to get into the world, but just doing my own part in complementing the future reality that I think we're all going to live in. So right now, I just dyed my coat, and instead of it being black, it's more like lavender purple, but it was tan, and I think the tan was just a little too professional looking, a little corporate, corpo vibe, and it's just not what I want to be a part of. But I am not done with it though. Like I still want to attach some kind of stuff, like accessories onto it, and maybe some patches. Just kind of do things to really make the coat more authentic, more original, and just more expressive of who I am as an individual and how I want to be perceived. Like I said, I've never really been into fashion, but if there's one way that I would approach fashion, it's with the question of like, how do I want to be perceived by the world and the energies? Who would have known that we were gonna pull a tarot card in this video? But Chariot is an interesting card to pull, especially with the new lunar year, year of the horse. And with this card and this energy of this year, we should definitely prioritize going forward in our ways of life that we want to pursue. What reality do you want to actively be the main character of and just beat it as much as possible? Not to say to be delusional, but in a way, yes, like the logically put yourself in the position to succeed in that reality you want to live. And the chariot is kind of like, it's funny that we're pulling it. Like if you're watching this video, it's most likely going to pertain to you as well. But with chariot energy in this horse year, this numerology 1 year, definitely go after the life you want to live. Like this is the year that you should definitely push towards that. But at this point of the game, we are going into her past. She's gonna take us for a deep dive, like literally in the ocean, that this man-made ocean or whatever. And we're gonna go down to the city slash town that she grew up in, and it's like the perfect transition to what I want to talk about, which is AI integration with humanity. Because same thing with her life here. I forgot her name. She had her life replaced by the needs of the world in terms of they needed a place to put all of this toxic water, and they decided to put it in the valley that she lived in. So that's what we're diving into right now. So right now, I just went to camp at Silver Falls, which is in Oregon. It's like a worldwide waterfall spot, very touristy, but it's so beautiful. Like it's hidden in literally the forest of Oregon. And right now, Oregon is going through this thing where they want to build data centers out here. It just recently got pushed back, like they put a pause on it for a year. They're gonna come back in a year to just decide what's gonna happen. But I was telling my friends out here that I think that's a bad idea because they're doing it out of like greed. They're not, I don't think they're putting in the right thoughts for humanity. They're just trying to solve present issues with money, which I think is the reason why we are in this world today. And this is what, March 6th, and there's a whole war going on right now. The Iran and Israel and US war is happening, and it's like the question that I want to echo through the halls of the world is, don't you see how, like, what these types of decisions, what greed like pushes us toward, and why are we still doing it? And I understand that AI is going to make life for humans much more accessible in the sense of like intelligence, and I'm with it. Like I really do want us to live in a cyber world where we can live among each other with technology, because that is going to be the way we evolve as people. But we are not doing it in a way that is healthy for the world, for people, and it's serving the wrong masters, in my opinion. You know, and like I just think about the algorithms created to keep us online and where the money is in terms of data and what it's being used for, and just all of the laws that are being passed in the last few years to try to protect people, because obviously lawmakers and corporations are not considering how it's affecting the people that are using and are generating the money that these corporations want. So it's just, we live in a world where, there's no surprise, right? Like we live in a world that is constantly abusing us as people and using us and wanting to like squeeze out every drop of energy that we have to support this system. But there is like no solution right now, and the solution to me is just actively every day showing up for yourself and for your community, even with the little things like picking up trash off the sidewalk in the neighborhood that you live in, because you're a part of that community. And if nobody else does it, well, that shouldn't be the reason why you don't. Like if you notice that your community is just trashing the environment, you should want to be the person that fills the role of change, positive change, because that's like the biggest leader that you can be for humans. Like it's like one role of the leader archetype that nobody openly like cares to elect. People just know like, somebody will get it. It's like, no, actually nobody is gonna get it because everyone's thinking like that. But if you can change that, if you can be the force that creates a new wave for positive change, and that's like so respectable, because it's like there is no attention around that role. It's just a decisive action that you took on yourself to help your community, and it's just about evolving that specific energy so that we can start making positive changes, such as the data centers in Oregon. Not even just Oregon, but the whole world, like especially United States. Like there's so many data centers now, and it's causing so many problems for different people in different environments that it really is becoming a thing that we need to think about and ask ourselves, what are we willing to sacrifice for all of these data centers, not just data centers, but technology that we want to be a part of our lives, and how are we going to go about it in a healthy manner to satisfy all of the things that we want from this world in reality, especially because right now we're in a time of transition in terms of evolution. What are we trying to evolve into, and what are we willing to sacrifice for that evolution? So it's, to me, it's just like, can we make sure it's worth it? Can we make sure that we're not abusing our power and position to decide for everyone that this is the right thing to do as a politician, you know, like please consider the entire populace and what we all want, like a true democracy. And I do think that the way we can achieve this like evolved version of a democracy is through creating a society of friends, investors of energy, and as a community just actively challenging the norms that exist that we know for a fact are not helping us grow and evolve as humans. And one example of this is the fact that I live in my van slash RV, and even today, just March 6th, I had a lady come up to me while I was parked in my van and tell me, hey, roll your window down, I need to tell you something. Alright, I'll roll my window down. And she said, please don't park here because I own this apartment building and I'm gonna need this space tomorrow. And she didn't really say it like that. She actually told me, like, just, you're not gonna park there. Like, she commanded me, she ordered me not to park there. And the first thing I told her was, is this not public parking? Like, is this not a public street where anybody can park? She said, yes, well, it is public, so that means I can park here. And you are not somebody who's allowed to tell me that I can't park here because it's public parking. And in my eyes, she is doing it all for greed. Like, she wants to reserve her spot in this public land because she feels that her life holds more priority over mine. Why? Because you own an apartment building and I'm just some guy who's parking here, going to a coffee shop, and have the ability to stay in my RV. But at the same time, it's like, I don't have an emotional attachment to that spot. What I do have a problem with, though, is somebody telling me, hey, you can't fucking park there. I have more liberty or freedom or control over my neighborhood. Which is like, yeah, I understand that, but I'm not someone here to cause destruction or chaos. Like, I'm literally supporting a small business. I am an energy that walks this world with positivity and peace. But if anything, I'm helping this neighborhood. Like, I am actively growing positive flowers and vibes to invite more positivity. So for me, I did feel very offended, especially because I'm Mexican, and in Portland, there's a very small demographic of Mexicans. And I've lived in California, I've lived in Arizona, I've gone to other states, I've gone to enough environments to know when somebody is treating me less than human, because you don't talk to people that way without even knowing them like that. That's my problem, is that she didn't even care to ask about me or just try to understand me or my approach in life. She just assumed that I was a nuisance and that I'm just a threat. to her neighborhood, which is a problem that I have because I feel like that's how wars are started. You know, it starts with little actions like that, and it just has a huge ripple effect. Because I felt very dehumanized. I felt that what about me? Like, what about how I feel? What about my perspective, especially on public land? And now, like, I have this huge energy of wanting to protest her life. Now I want to park there. Now I want to be there and see what was so important for her to do that she felt the need to talk to me like that. And I want to have the power to decide if I should move or not. Because it's like, what are you doing that's going to be so world changing for you to talk to me like that? But anyways, I feel like that's the right energy we need to have in terms of holding people accountable right now, especially as the common people, because our public lands are being auctioned to corporations so that they can use it to commit to their projects of data. And it's not like it's something that's easy or what's the right word? There's a lot of consequences with allowing them to do what they want to do, because the data centers use up a lot of energy. They get extremely hot and they affect the environment in a very real way, which is why I find it baffling that politicians don't consider the public, because we are the whole reason why they're even considering it. But my problem with the whole equation of consumerism and capitalism is that we've gotten to a point in capitalism where the sellers and corporations are not considering the lives of the consumers that give them so much power and money and influence. And all it takes is just us to stop, just literally stop and question, why should we do this? Like, why don't you as a corporation invest in our beliefs and opinions so that we can decide, yeah, this does sound like a good idea or not. But that's not the world we live in now. The world we live in is they just do and ask for forgiveness later. They don't ask for permission. And what really hurts me is the fact that I actually went to Silver Falls, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful place. A beautiful hike, so peaceful and just beautiful. And what hurts me is that they don't even consider the beauty that we would be losing out on, because they would just change it. Just change the environment, the landscape, so that they can fit their agenda. Where it's like, wait, I know they're not gonna literally put it at Silver Falls, but it's like there's gonna be an area in Oregon that will be demolished and be used to build a big ass building, a big ass warehouse to house the data center. So how do we feel about that? Because we do have the power to decide whether it happens or not. While there obviously are so many negatives to the whole data centers, I do want to shine light on the positives of having AI integrated with our society. And one of them is just the fact that we can evolve at an accelerated pace as humans. And all it's going to take is just integrating technology, which I'm so for. I'm really for it. But this war is honestly reminding me that there are many reasons why we shouldn't, because it's going to be used for the wrong reasons. And if you haven't seen Pantheon, that's a really great anime to watch regarding of what reality can look like with all of this technology. But we have to remember that there is there are people in this world that would not use it for good, which is literally what's happening right now. Like AI has been exploited among the masses in ways to just benefit a small group of people, and it's not the way we should go. It's not. I don't support it at all. But just imagine the technology we can have to help people. Like, just think of the possibilities that can come with an accelerated mind solving issues, creating solutions, and just fast tracking society in a way where we can have a consistently good operating flow for the way we as humans can live in this world with technology. And that's the reality I want to support. Like that's the reality I really want to be a part of, because I am a big fan of technology. Like I love my computer, I love video games, and I love being able to access knowledge just by knowing how to prompt things and ask the computer and just formulate words in a way that really does get you really positive results to solve solutions in real world situations. And I really do think we can change this world using technology, using AI in a positive way. And I want to do everything I can to support that reality. I want to touch the topic of energy investors, because I feel like that is one part of society that we're lacking, and that can go in like every tier of person and individual that is living in society right now, especially because we can access each other through the internet, through the digital realm. And what I really mean by it is that I think as a society we need to come together and finally decide that, hey, like we're not all able to run the same program. Like we need to come together as people and decide who's good at what, who needs help and what, and how we can commune as different personalities and different subjects of this society. And energy investors, in my opinion, something I am looking for, because I understand that it is getting harder and harder and harder to invest money into things that we want to support. And me as an artist, it's always been hard for me to accept money from people when they are purchasing my art, such as my shirts or my USBs or my music. Because to me, it's like I understand how much energy it takes to make money, because I do work blue collar jobs and it's backbreaking work. That I come from that perspective of valuing money because of how I've gotten it. Like I've never really had an easy job. Like every job I've ever had that has made me money, I've really worked hard at it, and it's always been a suffering experience. And I can relate to everybody when it comes to that feeling. And so it's always made it hard for me to accept money from people. So then asked myself, well, if I'm gonna continue doing art in this society that's ever growing, economically like bad, just getting worse, what can I do to support myself if I'm not willing to take money? And that's kind of where I decided to say, like, I don't mind being supported through energy, through interactions. For example, like I understand there's an algorithm that exists that controls who can see you, how many people can see you on social media. And to me, it's like, well, if you can't pay me money, just support my stuff online. Go out of your way to just give me a boost in the algorithm by sharing it to other people, your friends, your family, and anybody who might enjoy what I'm doing, what I'm trying to achieve in this world. And I feel like if we can accept that role in society as something valuable, then we can do as creators, because it's it's more valuable than a penny. And to give you perspective, one stream from Spotify gives you like 0.0003 cents, meaning it's like less than a third of a penny per stream. So if I made a 3-minute song and you listen to the whole thing, you helped me make less than a third of a penny. Whereas if you help me get in front of the eyes of someone who's willing to support me in more ways than just that penny, like even $1 would go further than one stream. Not even just one stream, but 100 streams. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Is like you might not be the one who can support me financially, but you might know someone who can. And what we're doing here is that we're creating a community of positivity through my art, through my medium, through my connection with everybody, so that we can all get on the same page and just elevate by using each other's resources and energy in a positive way. Just like just like a natural ecosystem. Like everything has its role. You don't have to be a tree to support the tree. You could be the rain, you could be the sunlight, you could be the ants, you could be the bear, the berry. Like you can be whatever you want in this ecosystem that works for you, but we have to start making conscious decisions to actually support the ecosystem, because right now it's being torn down. To the closing statements of this entire podcast video thing, I wholeheartedly want to approach my entire life, my entire creative life and physical realm from a cyberpunk perspective, and I am officially grounding myself into that perspective, where I am day to day now telling myself, how does this help my vision in terms of the cyberpunk reality I'm trying to portray? Because we are trying to get closer and closer to CD Projekt Red, to the whole cyberpunk timeline. And I really need to make sure that I stay focused on that path, because I feel like that is how I am going to succeed as an artist, where I don't have to take money from my people. I don't have to force people to invest in me if they don't want to financially, but I will be working with companies or businesses or like-minded individuals who can afford time, energy, and money to invest in me, so that we can create the bigger picture that helps us all. And I'm just glad that if you're watching this and you do want to be a part of this pathway that I'm trying to pave for myself, that you do enjoy it, and you can watch and you can learn and you can take notes and you can like spectate, and there will be room for everyone who does support me to communicate with me and to like interact, because it's more than just the screen that you're looking at. Like this is a real person talking to you through the mediums that we have available to us, the ones that we as humans have evolved to use as the conduit of communication and art that connects with all of us. And it doesn't matter who you are. Like you could be a software engineer, you could be a tech bro, you could be homeless, you could be anybody. And at the end of the day, like I still want to connect with you in some way that makes sense for both of us. And to me, the conduit to everyone is cyberpunk. I just feel like there's room for everybody in this reality, because it's not meant to be closed environment. It's supposed to be an open one that invites everybody, so that we can all put in energy that supports the demographic or reality that you're coming from. We are all ingredients to this melting pot, and we can all add to it. And I'm gonna be real. Like I do feel like gatekeeping has its benefits, but at the same time, like we do need to be open to each other, so that we can help each other grow past this point of control. Like if you're not controlling, you're being controlled. So let's change this dynamic. Let's make this world more optional and more livable. I don't know what the right word is, so that everyone has a fighting chance in this world, no matter what you're coming from. Because the false narrative is that it is welcoming here and it is diversified and it is fair, but it's completely not. As an adult of this generation, of this world, of this timeline that we're in, we are not living in a fair reality. We are living in a reality that is meant to take advantage of the people who are not benefiting off of it. It's just a sad reality. It's getting worse, but we can do our part to make it better, and that's kind of what I'm here for, is to just create space for us to be able to do that. Thank you so much for stopping in and just hearing me out. And I do apologize because I am like legit freestyling all of this dialogue. And I'm just hoping it connects with the right people. This world is so optimized that I just feel like sometimes it's better to let go of perfect and just choose authentic. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. So thanks so much for stopping by.